Hello, welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Mindset. Thank you so much for tuning in so far. I've had wicked feedback and I'm really glad you're enjoying the videos. So the 10-Minute Mindset is where we learn about incredible people and all about their habits, their lifestyles and their mindsets. On this episode we have Ash Phillips, the founder of Yena, a global entrepreneurial network. I really hope you enjoy this video. Hello, Ash Phillips. Thank you very much.
Hey, Elise.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Mindset. Thank you so much for being my guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, Ash is the founder and director of Yena. Yena is a global community of rebels helping people to start and grow better businesses. Ash has the vision of bringing together like-minded young people from all over the world. His passion and energy built Yena from a single event in a small bar to what is now a global movement. Ash, could you give us a brief outline of what you do and how you got to where you are now?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And what I do and how I got to where I am right now. So obviously these are quick fire. Let's go for it. What I do is I connect weirdos like me with other people just like them. Starting and growing a business is lonely, being ambitious is lonely, and surrounding yourself with people that are exactly the same as you in that way. Obviously not everybody's the same, but in that same mindset, super powerful. And I'm not a big psych guy. I'm not talking about, being from a Tony Robbins point of view. I'm just being ultra practical here. If you're surrounding yourself with people that want to achieve things, you want to achieve something, you have people to celebrate those successes with, talk about the failures with, and collaborate with to try and get onto the next rung of that ladder, if you will. So we do that by running free events all across the world now, 14, 15 cities I think we're in, and those events are there for anybody anywhere to attend, to connect with others like them and listen to talks from other startups, founders. We operate a membership, that's our business model, and people join our membership to get access to value-added resources. There are discounts and offers, opportunities, tools, pieces of content, as well as the community, the private community they can access. And that's super accessible at just £9 a month. So that's our business model. We help connect them to bigger companies. We help connect bigger companies to them as sponsors. That's also where some money comes from for us. But underlying all of that is our aim to connect people across the globe and make barriers of access and starting and growing a business much lower for anybody anywhere.
That sounds incredible, man. You've clearly got a huge passion for what you do. There must have been a point of your career that inspired you to be like, hey, there's a need for this. And there's clearly, there's that driving force. What is your why? Why are you doing this, Ash?
So I think there are always, people always think about the why, but then there's also the second layer and third layer. And I think you can get about as deep as you want at the fifth layer of your why. People always think they know what their why is, and actually there's a deeper why underneath that. Most of the time, to try and bring some psychology into it, it will resonate from something that's happened in their childhood. If they haven't come from money, they're probably wanting it, and that's not necessarily for the money aspects, it's for the kind of the same for me. I'm not necessarily playing a sob story here saying I'm from a poor family. I'm not going to start singing Queen, but I'm probably from a working class background, and so we never had the best holidays when we were kids. We just stayed at staycations in the UK, and so for me, selfishly on that angle, it's kind of a want for the ability to do things without restriction. But on a deeper level, on a social level, it's about giving people access to the things that I didn't necessarily have. It took me 3-4 years to understand enough to start and grow my business. I never had the money and the resource and the opportunities or the network to do that. And 3-4 years is a long time, especially when most businesses fail in their first year. That's a big fundamental problem. So that's what I'm trying to fix. That's my why. I want to make it easier for everybody everywhere within that next generational gap to start and grow a business.
That's awesome, man. That's wicked. It's great to hear that you're really passionate as well about supporting the youth and really allowing them to have a platform to be able to achieve great success as well. That's wicked. Along your journey, you must be incredibly busy as a person. As you mentioned, you're in 15 different cities now. Wow. Do you have any tips or tricks or advice that you could give to people on how you handle this, and anything that you think could help them handle that really busy lifestyle of the millennials?
Default answer to that is no, I'm bad at it. But I wrote our newsletter today, and I'm getting better at it, and happy to share my tips. So one tip that I've got here is about being really agile, and that sounds like a really dorky word to use. And sprint is even an even dorkier word to use. But what I mean by sprints and being agile is that actually focusing on one task, doing it within a certain set amount of time, and getting it done within that time before moving on to the next thing. I am your classic, in inverted commas, millennial, probably undiagnosed ADHD. I can't sit still, and I'm always thinking about different things. And I've got magpie syndrome. I'm chasing shiny things all over the place that look interesting. So for me, if I'm, and I know that, self-awareness I think is key, and that's probably one of my biggest tips, to be self-aware as to what your strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to focus. I know I'm not very focused. My school report always said that I'd do better if I stopped chatting. It's great. I actually chat for a business now, which is good news, luckily, otherwise I'd be screwed. So for now, I'd say, the practical, ultra practical tips are focus, set things in your diary that are supposed to be done within a certain time frame and do it. Cheeky little hacky tips for me are, if you procrastinate a lot, take the charger out of your laptop and work somewhere else. If you know that your battery is running down and you have no way to recharge it, it will force you to work faster and be more focused. Do that all the time, and it really really does work for me. And the other thing is putting your headphones in. For me, I just put my headphones in and I focus. I have to work elsewhere. I'm in the larger part of the office today because working within the office with other people chatting distracts me. I distract them. It gets really bad. So the self-awareness there, focus on those things. But then the other thing and the final thing to mention on that is that actually just to relax into who you are. If you're a person that is a generalist and very good at being a generalist, then do that and be the best person you can be at that. If you're not the accounts person, but you're finding it so hard to do the accounts, don't fight against it. Find a way to sell enough to outsource that to someone who loves doing the accounts, and delegate those things out, so that if you are the person who loves talking, building partnerships and relationships, go and be that person. So there's a few ways to fight against it, but I would always say go with the flow if you can.
Awesome, man. That's wicked. That's really cool. And I guess over your career now, you've really had to build in habits into your day to day that allow you to do what you do. What are some of your key habits that have allowed you, whether they're rituals or habits, that allow you to do what you do?
So as far as running Yena as a business goes, one of the habits and rituals that I've got, I think, just as a core value, is to give unconditionally. And that just helps you build practically. If you're thinking about it from a logical point of view, a business point of view, it builds up social currency. You can use that social currency, cash it in with other people. Essentially, they'd be called favors. And so you can build up all those favors and cash them in at some point when you need them. That's how I've built pretty much every business I've run, with zero marketing budgets, because I understand that everybody wants something, and it's about giving them what they want and then getting what you want in return. So giving unconditionally, without even thinking about what you want in return, just give, because when you do need something, they'll be there to help you. It's the Gary V jab, right hook approach, which of course he wrote very well about. So it's that stuff. That's a habit practically in business. Something that I've learned now, which is super important, and people seem to not get it, and actually because of people like Gary, I think, talking in the opposite way about it, which is they think they need to hustle 24/7, quote unquote. But actually, a habit that I've got into now is taking time off. I should take more time off. I don't take holidays, and I really, really should. But when it comes to the weekend, I will very rarely work on weekend now. And when it gets to a certain point in the evening, I very rarely will. I used to think that was because if I worked more, I did more, but that's absolutely nonsense. Logic says you do more hours, you do more work. Doesn't make sense. You're not as productive. I would challenge anybody to take 2 weeks off over Christmas, or just 2 weeks off if they can. Come back and just see how much work they get done. Listen to your mind, listen to your body. I sound like a hippie now, and I'm certainly not. I'm a really scientific guy, but listen to your mind and your body. And if your mind and your body are telling you that you don't really want to focus on a job, there's a reason for it. Take the time off, watch Netflix, play on your PlayStation, do something, come back reinvigorated and smash it.
So important. Awesome. You've had a few years now, 3-4 years, you say you've been running Yena. You're running something before as well. What would you say of this Yena journey? What has been one of your most fulfilling moments of the career that you've had so far, that has really just grounded you and made you just be like, this is right, what I'm doing, and kept you sort of empowered? Could you share with us
Sure.
what's been one of your most empowering moments?
Yeah, so I would say there's probably two sides to this. The first side is, I suppose, the selfish, empowering moments. It's winning awards, being listed on the Maserati list, and getting the Mentor of the Year award from our local friends over at Tech Spark against people that were 20, 30 years my senior, which was really humbling, inspiring. And I was literally sat there mid beer, not thinking I was going to get something, trying to hide my disappointment by drinking something, and then almost spat it out when they said my name. And I thought, that's crazy. But the biggest part, and this sounds again quite hippie, but one of the biggest parts is that um, the most rewarding part is seeing everybody else do well. And I don't want to sound like Bob Geldof here, but it is that it's turning around and seeing somebody that was really struggling a year ago, didn't know what they wanted to do. 3 months later, they turn up and they say, oh, I've started a business. 3 months after that, they say, oh, I've employed my first member of staff. And 3 months after that, they've gone and scaled to a national capacity or raised £1 million or done something like that. And that's the stuff that really, really gives me that reward, because I know that in some way, shape or form, we've had a hand in that. And that's where I get my win.
I love that. I love that, man. I love that. Just seeing success in others is a very fulfilling for yourself, which is great. It's why you do what you do. Awesome. Well, let's wrap up with this last question, which I always love, which is always around, as an entrepreneur, you're constantly getting advice from people, whether that's your family, your friends, other mentors, other entrepreneurs. Could you share with us what has been the best advice you have ever been given and why?
Interesting. Best advice I've ever been given. For me, I don't know whether I was ever given this, but it's certainly disseminated from everybody else. That's kind of all the other stuff that's come together and it's turned into this. But one of the best pieces of advice that I'm able to give now, probably because of the stuff that I've heard over the time, is super simple. It's too simple that people forget it, and it's forgetting everything, every other piece of business in your business, your branding, your marketing, your customer, etc., etc., etc. Getting everything. Business is about one thing: selling something, and selling something ideally for more than it costs to make it and deliver it. That's what business is about. So many people now in startups get wrapped up in doing the minutiae and worried about the brand and building the community and even doing the invoices and the accounts. I'm not saying leave them, because all those things should be done, but they forget weirdly to sell something. And unless you're selling something, it's not a business, it's just a nice market research product.
Yeah.
I know that sounds naive and some people will hate me for saying that, but I'm being kind of controversial on purpose there. But sell something. That's the thing that I wish I went back to myself and I said right at the start: forget the other stuff, stop rebranding your own company 3 times a year, just sell something. That's super simple, too simple, but probably the core advice that lots of people need to hear, I think.
Awesome. Ash, I love it. The key thing there, just the power of selling and that being a core of what you do as an entrepreneur. That is brilliant. Ash, thank you so much for being my guest today on the 10-Minute Mindset. It's an honor to spend time with you. I know you're so busy. Thank you so much, Ash. He's an incredible person that I've known for nearly 4 years now. So to see his development has been incredible, and it's a pleasure to still be a close friend of his. If you enjoyed that, then please let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed it, and of course, share it with a friend. Tune in next time for another episode of the 10-Minute Mindset. See you soon.